And I'm focusing on you, yes? I'm looking directly at you. So I should turn a little bit. Okay.
Will you just do a quick recap of your grandma's again? Yeah, so basically whenever, like I said,
repeat the question.
Yeah, just repeat the question and give like a 2-second pause between the time that you say it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'll pause. I gotta think. I'm older than them, so I'll be thinking.
They're both very reflective. Take a moment. I wish I try to just give an answer. So thank you for talking with us today. Please introduce yourself and tell us how you connected.
My name is Jabril McDuffie, and I moved to Joplin in 2007 with my family. And I am a Habitat for Humanity homeowner. And currently, I am secretary for the South Central Civic League.
So, in your opinion, what are some of the most important milestones, both good and bad?
In my opinion, what are? Can you repeat the question?
So, what are some of the most important milestones that you can remember?
Okay. Some of the most important milestones in Jopla's history, both good and bad. I would say that I think historically Joppa has some negative connotations when you hear Joppa because of some of the crime that was occurring in the area before Habitat for Humanity did some building. And then also, I just recently found out, not too long ago, actually a couple of weeks ago, that there was a hanging tree, like a tree that was used for hanging in this area that I didn't know about. So that was a little, I mean, it is what it is because it is the South, and slavery was prevalent, and the KKK was prevalent. And so I do, so that was some of the negative things that I had heard about with Joppa. But some of the positive milestones I would say is the fact that Habitat for Humanity has built some new homes in the area quite a bit and are continuing to grow and build new homes. And so the area is being infiltrated with new people and new ideas, and I think it's a good mix with old and new, and so that's one of them.
So, what is your best memory when you
I don't have just one good memory. Like, I have many, and I hope to continue to have lots more good memories of my community and of my neighbors. So, I mean, just the street that we live on, I actually am very familiar with almost all of my neighbors, and so I'm glad for that. Like, what I continue to have, I just hope I continue to have good memories, not just one specifically.
So, would you give us? Would you pick one?
Oh, sure.
Because part of this is to have like lots of little examples.
Okay.
That people can hear. Like, oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, just recently in March, we had I can give you a couple actually, a couple of good memories. But just recently, we had a community cleanup, and it was really nice to see. I actually got a chance to meet people from other streets because typically I come home from work, I'm in my I talk to the neighbors who are in my direct vicinity, but I don't get a chance to really talk to neighbors that live on other streets. So we all got together and cleaned. We did several different projects that we came together on, and the city was able to, the city rented, well, they gave us, donated some tools to get the jobs done. And that was really a good day. We were able to eat together when we took we took breaks together. And, but we really did accomplish a great deal. And by the time we were done, uh, it was like there was major improvement. It just really looked beautiful, the entranceway. And so that's one of the, um,
So, what are you doing today to provide leadership to the community?
What am I doing today to provide leadership to the community? Uh, as I stated earlier, I am the secretary for the South Central Civic League here in the community, and so um, I, I'm hoping. Just recently, I was elected a few months ago, and so I'm really hoping to begin to start being a part of some good things that are happening in our community. So.
What are some things that you are proud about accomplishing? The question is right. Oh, sorry. And that's fine. And for we've been talking to people that live here their whole lives. So may I rephrase this one just for the go ahead. For new families? Okay. So not necessarily based on your own personal experience, but even if you have to supplement with things that you've heard, looking back, what are the things, both good and bad, that have shaped Joppy into the community today?
Okay. So, what are the things that have shaped Joppy into the community that it is today, good and bad? I'd say let's start with the bad stuff first. I would say that just the apparent lack of unity that that I have observed, that kind of I guess I could say, yeah, the lack of community, the lack of like care for other people, genuine care for other people too. I know that there are residents who do look out for one another, direct neighbors, but just a genuine concern for one another. I before I actually when I moved here, before I had moved here, I heard nothing about Joppy. So it was a shock when I when I was told that this was an area. I actually picked Joppy when I came out with Habitat for Humanity. Kind of we were able to pick what areas we wanted to build in, and I picked Joppy because of all the trees. Like I'm originally from New Jersey, and so it just reminded me of home to finally have some trees and shrubs. Because some of the communities that we had lived in before we moved to Joppy, it was just concrete. And so when I actually moved to Joppy, I would tell people where I live, and it was like, Lord, you live over there? Why? What did you do? Do you know about where you moved to? And I was just like, what? Nobody told me, Nobody told me. So, but it really was not all the negative things about like different crimes that were happening and how people were coming and dumping bodies and, dropping off stolen cars and that kind of thing. That was something that really I didn't necessarily see on a regular basis, because I guess by the time Habitat started coming in and different people started moving into the neighborhood, it kind of, started turning around. And then also the bridge was built just before we moved. So I think that made a lot of difference in the community as well. So did I answer all of you?
So are some of the things that you are proud about accomplishing?
Me personally, what I've accomplished, I think that I'm proud of the fact that
So, what are some of the things that you're proud about accomplishing?
So, some of the things that I'm proud of accomplishing here in Joppy is the fact that I've built new relationships with neighbors, with some of the people that we sometimes attend a local church right down the street from us, and we built relationships there. And I volunteered to do some tutoring at the church with the youth program there a few years ago. I don't do it now, but so I was able to meet quite a few of the young people that live in our community through that program.
So what do you think is going well today in Joppy?
What do I think is going well today in Joppy? I think that change is happening, and it is awesome. You know, people are becoming a little more open to new things and possibilities, and sounding a little more hopeful than they have ever had, before. And so, I think that the positive change is the fact that there is hope for the future of Joppy at this point, and that community leaders and city government are now starting to pay a little more attention to this area and to the people who live in it.
What challenges are you currently facing in your community?
Some of the challenges that I currently face in the community, I would say making a connection with the young people that are in the community. I would say that is so I work at a high school, at my daughter's high school, and I realize the importance of youth being our future, and really investing in young people. And I find that it's very challenging to engage the youth in this community. Not everyone, but just the fact that there's no central place where the kids in our community can get together, and and adults in our community can get together, a community center where we can all gather together and get to know each other. That's one of the major challenges that I think we face today, is that disconnection with one another.
So, what do you think makes leaders successful or unsuccessful?
What do I think makes a leader successful or unsuccessful? I would say a successful leader is a good listener, and a good listener of the people in his or her community, or his constituents or her constituents, but and also not just a good leader of the people, a good listener of the people, but a good listener of his or her own heart as well. So I don't know if that kind of answers. You have to be balanced in that you need to listen to other people, but then you also, as a good leader, need to have the heart to go ahead and do what is best for everyone, even if not everyone is in agreement. So and what makes a bad leader? I guess the opposite, just not listening to himself or to others.
So what are the biggest leadership
What are the biggest leadership challenges is just getting people to come out and care about their community and as a whole and get involved. You know, it's so easy to talk about what you don't like about your community, but if you are not willing to get off your couch and come to meetings and voice your opinions and do a little work, then nothing's going to change. We have to do it together. It just can't be a few people. I mean, a few people can make some changes, but we could do some awesome things together as a community. So.
What roles do followers play, and how do you think followers feel about being followers?
In the sense of a when it comes to a community, I think that we do need to be followers. We need to follow suit. When we have good leaders, we need to all get in line and back that leader, back those leaders up so that we can do, so that we can accomplish things. I mean, if we need to get together and go to a city hall meeting and talk about some issues that are going on in our community, then leadership should be able to have tons of followers come out and, do what we need to do together to accomplish what we need to accomplish. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being a follower in that sense.
How do you think that the followers feel about being a follower?
A good follower will feel like, they're doing exactly what they need to do to get things done. I mean, I don't think there's any negative connotation to being a follower when it comes to doing what is right and good for you, for your community.
So in what ways would you say that you are a leader, and in what ways would you say that you are a follower, and has there changed over time?
Oh, yeah. In what ways would I say that I'm a leader now, and what ways would I say that I've been a follower in the past? I'm a leader now in the sense that I've decided to not be one of those people who just sit back and listen and disagree, but, to go ahead and step out and allow myself to be nominated for a position in the South Civic League and then also to accept it. So I was a hesitant leader, but I did, I accepted and did, accepted the challenge because I knew that this, Joplin it's time for some changes to be made so that we can all benefit from those changes. Now, in the past, I was a follower willing to do whatever, and I still am a follower willing to do whatever needs to be done, in order to help things progress in our community. So.
How does your faith influence your leadership?
How does my faith influence my leadership? My faith is everything, is what drives me. The scripture, love one another, love thy neighbor, that is exactly how we need to be in order to, that's something that the women or the women in my family, my grandmother, my great grandmother, my mom I've always known them to be very neighborly. And so I don't know any other way to be. Sometimes my kids are like, you were so friendly. Why are you always talking to people? But I mean, that's just the nature of, who I am, and I'm glad for it. So.
What are some things you think might stand in the way of Jopley's future?
What are some of the things that I think may stand in the way of Jopley's future growth? Honestly, I think that the only thing that would stand in the way of Jopley's growth is ourselves. That's it. Is people who are not willing to be open-minded and do the work and take the steps to get things done. Just us.
So if Jopley had all the resources it needed, what do you think it could look like in 2020?
If Joppy had all the resources it needed, what would I think it would look like in 2020? So I think about this a lot. I honestly like envision. So I just want to give you a little background and let you know that I love Little House on the Prairie. That is like my favorite TV series ever. And I make my kids watch it with me sometimes. And my husband is very resistant, but you know, I'm still working on him. But I just love the sense of community that they had. If somebody had a problem, if their barn burned down, they had a barn raising, and you know, I mean, it was just people working together as a community to take care of one another. And so, in 5 years, I really hope that you know that is something that occurs more often, is a sense of community. Aesthetically speaking, I realize that there are so many people in Joppy that have tons of talent, and so I see small mom and pop shops, you know, in Joppy. I can envision like, you know, a little community, a little inn or in bed and breakfast. I mean, because this area is just very beautiful. I mean, they're just with the Trinity, with the reserve that's down Fellows. It is absolutely beautiful in that area, and there are a lot of natural resources that we just we can't even, you know, we don't even take advantage of. And I see a possible bike trail. My husband is an avid bike rider, so you know that would be nice. And I see kids playing together, and there being a rec center and because this is a community, because this is a historical community. I really do hope that there would be a visitor center so that people could learn a lot more about the history of Joppy, and so that our children would know exactly, you know, I think if they knew that this was a town, this is referred to as Freedmen's Town, where you know freed slaves came and settled, and they had their own businesses. And I think if they knew that there is some positive history in the area that they live in, that they would take more pride in where they, you know, well, let me say that we would take more pride in the area that we live in, and also strive to take care of it and to prosper it. So I just see a lot of development, hopefully retail development, and that visitor center and rec center that would be so beneficial to the future of Joppy, future generations. So.
Is there anything that you'd like to add that you think we didn't go over?
No, I can't really think of anything. I'm glad you're doing the project. I'm very proud of you, and thankful to Paul Quinn College. So, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.